There is a tool out there that can be easily used by anyone to create a smart contract in a matter of a few minutes. Yes, you heard it right, anyone. You don't actually need to be a programmer to be able to use it and to create your own smart contract. I'm talking about Marlowe. Marlowe is a smart contract language recently launched for the Cardano blockchain. It even has its own drag and drop system, drag and drop editor that can be easily used by anyone. So you don't actually need to code if you don't want to. You can just set your requirements using this tool and drag and drop them to create your own unique contract logic. This programming language has just been recently launched on mainnet and is available for anyone to try. So if you want to know more about Marlowe, this is a video you should watch until the end. As you've seen in the intro, Marlowe is a very easy way to write and deploy your own smart contracts on the Cardano mainnet. Marlowe is a language powered by Plutus and with the same level of security, but one that is much simpler to use. As we can see here, it has launched very recently. It is a language that was developed by IOHK and audited by Twig before going into mainnet. In case you don't know, IOHK is the company responsible for the development of Cardano. Marlowe comes with a playground where you can securely test your smart contracts before uploading them into mainnet, and due to its integration with Blockly, you are actually able to just use their drag and drop system, just drag and drop blocks with the exact logic you want to create. So as you can imagine, it's very simple to be able to create your own smart contract. For me, this feature is really crucial because it allows almost anyone to be able to write their own smart contracts on Cardano without having to trust third parties and making sure that what they want to do is actually what's going to be executed by the smart contract. Sure, you might not be able to write very complex smart contracts, at least in this initial stage of Marlowe, but there is a lot you're already able to do, such as selling NFTs, swapping your tokens, doing a small airdrop, or even auctioning an NFT. So basically, it's a very important tool that gives a lot of power to the users because they are able to create their own financial deals using blockchain, and they don't need to trust third parties to create these contracts, third parties that might in fact create contracts that are slightly different from what they want. So you get more power over your tokens, over your assets, and how you want to spend them, because you can create these impartial rules to make any kind of deals you want. So yeah, with Marlowe, almost anyone will be able to create a smart contract as long as they want to, as long as, of course, they are aware of the logic they want for the smart contract, and they have some knowledge about the functioning of the Cardano blockchain and the functioning of the Marlowe drag and drop editor. Overall, I think this knowledge is pretty simple to gain. For example, for the functioning of the Cardano blockchain, you have plenty of videos, articles, resources, and courses out there. And for Marlowe, you have documentation, you have examples, you have tutorials. So a lot of things to go through if you want to learn how to do this. In fact, I'll leave all the relevant links about Marlowe with all the tutorials, documentations, and everything in the description. And as you can see here, you have plenty of examples of things you can do with Marlowe using the drag and drop editors, and plenty of examples that are available for you to test, to try, to see, to tweak a little bit for your own use cases. So a lot to go through for sure. I think it's also important to highlight that you're not stuck to having to use the drag and drop editor. Okay, you can use the Marlowe language. You can also use JavaScript and Haskell to create your own smart contracts through Marlowe, or just combine the drag and drop editor with the Marlowe language if you prefer to do so, and be able to take your smart contracts to the next level, especially considering that Marlowe is a very simple contract language, very clean, so much different from Plutus that is a bit more trickier to understand. If all of this was not already pretty incredible and pretty user-friendly, In addition, you don't even have to install anything to run Marlowe on your own computer. Yeah, you heard it right. Normally you would have to install some packs according to the Marlowe starter kit, but as stated here in the FAQ, you can run Marlowe simply by using Dimeter Run. Dimeter Run is an online website developed by TXPipe that provides you with all the infrastructure you need to create, run, and deploy smart contracts on the Cardano blockchain without going to the pretty tough process, I would say, of setting up your own node on your own Cardano node and all the necessary infrastructure to be able to deploy smart contracts directly from your computer onto the blockchain. With Dimeter, you can simply use it directly from your browser after creating an account and deploy your smart contracts in a very simple way, even though it has a cost depending on how much infrastructure you're actually consuming with your contracts. So, are you curious to see how Marlowe works in practice? Let me then provide you here with a quick overview. If you come here to the website of Marlowe, I'll leave the link in the description as well. You can scroll down and come here to this part where you have the See Marlowe Playground in action. And here we can click on the Create Contract. And then here in this page, you can choose how you want to get started. You can open an existing project that you have, either in Haskell or JavaScript, or even Marlowe if you have one already. Or you can open an example from their repository of examples, or you can simply come here and start the environment you want to work on and start from zero. You can work with JavaScript, Haskell, or you can actually start with Marlowe or with Blockly, that is a drag and drop editor. So to simplify, we'll start here running with Blockly. So here, as we can see, we have an empty smart contract, and we can just add observations if we want. We can add actions, we can add values. We have a lot of things we can do here. We can add parties to pay, we can have tokens, we can have so much, but basically here, to make it simple and faster, I'll just click here on opening an example and select here an example for us to work on. I'll select here a swap to work on Blockly, and then we can close this, and we can see here an example of a smart contract where when the ADA is deposited, you have this bunch of actions here that you can do to swap with a buyer and the seller. You can naturally add any actions or do any kind of changes you want. You can also change here the values. You can do a lot. You have a lot of freedom within a kind of limited drag and drop system, as they always are, but you have a lot you can do for sure. So definitely a little bit of learning will be necessary. But we can also here, as you can see, we can see this code in Marlowe. So we have an example of how it looks in Marlowe. Basically the drag and drop editor just transforms it into Marlowe, and here in Marlowe is much easier, I would say, as you can see here. And coming back to the blocks, we also can send it to the simulator and test it. And here we have the code on the left side, and here we have the things for the simulation, where we can set out the times we want, we can set out the amount of ADA that we want to work on, and we can start the simulation. Okay, and then we do the actions. We can do a lot of tests and a lot of different things here with the actions and the playground. But for sure, if you want to learn more about it, I'll just leave the documentation, all the Marlowe documentation, for you to check it out. It's important that while you're learning, you should definitely use the simulator to stress test your code and using the playground, or even deploying the contract on testnet first to make sure that everything is going accordingly to what you want. For me, this is an amazing tool. It was already launched with many more capabilities than I expected, and there are already a lot of smart contract examples and smart contracts we can create with this feature. This definitely has the potential to facilitate a lot of the work that smart contract developers need to do, because it's a very simple language, and you can even use the drag and drop system if you actually take the time to learn about Marlowe and then complete the code with the use of Marlowe. But more importantly than just making the task easier for smart contract developers, it has the potential to make the development of smart contracts so much more accessible and widespread. It truly empowers many people already involved in the cryptocurrency industry to go out and easily learn how to create their own smart contract. Because I truly believe that anyone that is using currently DeFi, that knows how to hold their crypto in a non-custodial wallet, will be able to easily learn how to use Marlowe. So definitely you just need to do that investment in time to learn a little bit more about how the Cardano blockchain works, learn a bit more about smart contract logic, and there are a lot of resources out there. And just spend some time testing the Marlowe examples and learning how the Marlowe works. You don't need to actually learn the Marlowe code. You just need to learn how to use the drag and drop editor. And once you've learned, you can use it to easily create your own smart contract in a matter of few minutes. And that's really incredible, because just imagine being able to do all kinds of contracts in the blockchain in a trustless manner, and being able to create these contracts in a matter of a few minutes. Okay, that's certainly incredible. You don't need to trust third parties. You can reduce costs by a lot, and you can actually make your transactions in a much easier, faster, and trustless way. Now, I'm excited to see what kind of smart contracts will be created, built, and deployed using Marlowe. And I'm not gonna lie, I will definitely be playing with it, learning a bit more, and trying to create my own smart contracts, because I do think it's worth it, and I do think it can be pretty useful. And I'm even more excited because, if we are already able to do so much with the first version of Marlowe in the mainnet, just imagine what we are going to be able to do as time goes by and as new features are launched and we are able to create more complex smart contracts, that maybe in the future we'll be able to easily create amazing things in a matter of a few minutes. And that's incredible. I would say that's a power that I don't think most of us realize the dimension of it. So definitely there is a huge world of possibilities and things that can be created by regular crypto users using Marlowe, from simpler things to more complex ones. But remember that using Marlowe, you're empowered. You can set your own NFT sales. You can create, for example, your own NFT auctions whenever you want. You can make a swap, you can make a contract, you can loan your money and get interest on that, just using Marlowe and not depending on any third party, and making sure that the third party makes everything right and doesn't run away with your funds. If this was interesting and useful in any way, and if you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Marlowe, please leave a like so that this video can reach more people. And if you haven't subscribed, please do it and turn on the notification bell as well for you to be warned whenever a new video comes out. And if you want to find out more about other very easy to use options you have to program on the Cardano blockchain, mostly options developed by the community, in this video here in the end screen, we dive deeper into the progress of the Cardano blockchain on the first quarter of 2023, and there you have some really significant development in terms of programming languages, infrastructure, but not only. You also have a lot of other significant developments from the Cardano blockchain, and I think it's definitely a video worth to watch. So on my side, I'll see you there.